Imagine being able to transform every conversation, every relationship, and every opportunity just by mastering your emotions. This audiobook gives you the tools to unlock emotional intelligence and sharpen your social skills so you can connect deeply, communicate clearly, and succeed effortlessly. Start your journey now. Introduction. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt the energy shift? Maybe someone was silently upset and no one had to say a word. You knew. Or maybe you've met someone who seemed to have this effortless ability to connect, communicate, and make everyone around them feel comfortable and heard. What is it that makes these people different? It's not just talent, good looks, or even intelligence in the traditional sense. It's emotional intelligence. And combined with sharp social skills, it's a superpower. The real secret to success in today's world, having a high IQ or being book smart, simply isn't enough. The people who rise to the top, whether in their careers, relationships, or personal happiness, have something more. They know how to manage their own emotions. They know how to read others. They can connect with people on a deeper level. Chapters ahead, you're going to discover the practical science-backed tools that emotionally intelligent people use every day, often without realizing it. But here's the best part. These are learnable skills. You don't have to be born with them. Drive it. Then we'll explore the science behind it. Why your brain reacts the way it does in emotional situations, and how to train it to work for you, not against you. You'll learn how to recognize your emotions, manage them in real time, and build genuine empathy for others. We'll decode body language and social cues so you can walk into any room with confidence. You'll discover how to speak in a way that makes people want to listen, and how to listen in a way that makes others feel truly heard. Cover social confidence, building deeper relationships, navigating tough conversations, and even how to use these skills in your career or business. By the end, you won't just understand emotional intelligence, you'll live it. Why this matters more than ever. Let's face it, our world is more connected than ever. Yet people feel lonelier, more misunderstood, and more emotionally overwhelmed than at any other point in history. Why? Because technology might connect us, but emotional intelligence is what binds us. It's what allows us to build trust, resolve conflicts, and create meaningful relationships, whether that's in a Zoom meeting or a face-to-face conversation. In a noisy world, being emotionally intelligent is like being fluent in a language. Most people have forgotten how to speak what this book is. Not before we dive in, I want to be clear. This isn't some dry academic lecture filled with theory and fluff. You won't find pages of jargon or meaningless statistics. This is real, raw, and applicable. Every strategy you'll hear is something you can start practicing today, no matter where you're starting from. Whether you're shy, socially anxious, emotionally reactive, or just curious, this book will meet you where you are and take you step by step toward real transformation. Who this is for, this audiobook is for you. If you want to feel more in control of your emotions and reactions, you want to connect with people more deeply and authentically, you want to improve your communication both in personal and professional settings, you're tired of second-guessing yourself in social situations, or maybe you just want to level up your people skills and become the kind of person others naturally gravitate toward. If any of that sounds like you, you're in the right place. A word of encouragement, let me say this right now. If you've ever felt like you're just not good with people or that emotions are hard to understand or express, I want you to know that's not your fault. Most of us were never taught these skills. We learned math, science, and grammar in school, but no one showed us how to calm ourselves down when we're angry, how to set boundaries without guilt, or how to truly listen when someone is hurting. This audiobook is the education you should have gotten, and I promise by the time you finish, you'll be equipped with the tools, confidence, and understanding to navigate life with emotional mastery. How to get the most out of this audiobook. Here's how I recommend using this audiobook. Listen with intention. Treat it like a conversation. Pause, reflect, and let the ideas sink in. Take notes, jot down insights or strategies that speak to you. Even one idea could change the way you think or act. Practice one thing at a time. You don't need to master everything overnight. Choose one skill or technique per chapter and start applying it in your daily life. Revisit as needed. Come back to the chapters that resonate most when you need a refresher. Repetition builds mastery. The journey ahead. You're about to go on a journey that could dramatically upgrade your life. Not by changing who you are, but by unlocking the full power of who you've always had the potential to become. You already have the spark inside you. This audiobook is just the fuel, so let's get started. Let's master emotional intelligence. Let's build the social skills that open doors, build bridges and change lives, because when you get your emotions right, everything else starts to fall in place. Chapter 1. The Science Behind Emotional Intelligence. Let's get scientific but keep it simple. Before we dive into the how-to of mastering emotional intelligence, we need to answer a big question. What exactly is emotional intelligence? And how does it really work in your brain and body? Don't worry, we're not going to get lost in technical jargon or brain scans, but it's important to understand the science behind emotional intelligence, because once you know what's happening inside you chemically, neurologically, and psychologically, it becomes easier to take control of your reactions and reshape how you think, feel, and act. So, let's break it down. What is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence, often called EQ, or emotional quotient, is your ability to recognize, understand, manage, and influence your emotions and the emotions of others. It's made up of 5 core components. Self-awareness, knowing what you're feeling and why. Self-regulation, managing your emotions in healthy ways. Motivation, using emotions to fuel positive actions. Empathy, understanding the feelings of others. Social skills, navigating relationships and interactions effectively. Think of EQ as your internal GPS. It helps you navigate tough conversations, make smart decisions under pressure, and build relationships that actually work. And here's the cool part. EQ isn't fixed. Unlike your IQ, which tends to stay relatively stable throughout your life, your emotional intelligence can grow as much as you're willing to work on it. The emotional brain. Meet your limbic system. Let's get into your brain for a moment. Inside your head is a small but powerful part called the LIC system, and it's the emotional command center of your body. This system includes structures like the amygdala, which is like your emotional alarm system, and the hippocampus, which helps store emotional memories. When something happens around you, someone cuts you off in traffic, your boss criticizes you, or a friend gives you a compliment, your brain's first response comes from the amygdala. It asks, is this a threat or a reward? If it senses danger or emotional stress, it triggers the classic fight, flight, or freeze response. Your heart races, your palms sweat, your breathing changes. This is your biology in action, getting you ready to react. But here's where emotional intelligence comes in. The prefrontal cortex, the thinking, rational part of your brain, can step in and help you respond instead of just react. EQ is the ability to pause, evaluate the situation, and choose how you respond. It's the difference between snapping at someone and taking a breath, between sending that angry text or thinking twice, between letting fear hold you back or channeling it into courage. The amygdala hijack when emotions take over. Have you ever lost your temper and thought, that wasn't me, I don't know what came over me? That's called an amygdala hijack. When your emotional brain overrides your rational brain. It happens in a split second. Your amygdala sounds the alarm before your prefrontal cortex has time to process. In that moment, your body is flooded with stress hormones like adrenaline, and cortisol, preparing you to react rather than think. But here's the good news. You can train your brain to pause, reflect, and rewire your automatic responses through mindfulness, breathing techniques, and the self-awareness exercises we'll cover later in this audiobook. You can give your rational brain the space it needs to step in before the emotional storm hits. That's the science behind emotional regulation, and it's one of the most powerful EQ skills you can build. Mirror neurons and empathy. Let's talk about empathy, which is another pillar of emotional intelligence. Have you ever yawned after seeing someone else yawn, or felt emotional watching someone cry, even in a movie? That's the work of mirror neurons, specialized cells in your brain that help you understand and feel what others are experiencing. They create an internal simulation of someone else's emotion. When your EQ is high, these mirror neurons are especially active. You become more attuned to subtle cues, like changes in someone's tone, body language, or facial expression. That's why emotionally intelligent people are often called intuitive. It's not magic, it's neurology. And just like a muscle, your empathy can grow stronger the more you exercise it. The role of neuroplasticity. One of the most exciting discoveries in neuroscience is neuroplasticity. The brain's ability to change and rewire itself based on your thoughts, actions, and experiences. What does this mean for you? It means emotional intelligence isn't just a personality trait. It's a skill set you can develop with intention. Every time you practice staying calm during stress, every time you choose curiosity over judgment, every time you listen deeply to someone else's story, you are physically rewiring your brain to become more emotionally intelligent. It's like working out. The more reps you put in, the stronger your emotional muscles become. The link between EQ and success. Now let's get practical. Why does emotional intelligence matter in real life? Studies have shown that EQ is a stronger predictor of long-term success than IQ. In fact, people with high EQ earn more money on average. They are more likely to be promoted and trusted in leadership roles. They build stronger relationships, experience less stress, and enjoy higher life satisfaction. In one famous study by Daniel Goleman, author of Emotional Intelligence, it was found that up to 90% of the difference between top performers and average ones in leadership roles came down to EQ, not IQ or technical skills. This applies in relationships too. People with high EQs are better at resolving conflicts, expressing love and appreciation, and supporting those around them. So whether you're building a business, managing a team, raising a family, or trying to deepen your friendships, emotional intelligence is your secret weapon. Emotions are data. Here's one more powerful concept to remember. Emotions are not the enemy. They're data. They're signals that tell you what's happening beneath the surface. Anxiety might be telling you that something important is at stake. Anger could be revealing a boundary that's been crossed. Sadness might be inviting you to reflect or release something. When you view emotions as information instead of problems, you can learn from them instead of fearing, suppressing them. That's what emotional intelligence teaches us: to decode the message behind the emotion and to respond with wisdom instead of impulse. Practical exercise, emotional audit. Let's end this chapter with a simple but powerful exercise. Over the next 24 hours, do an emotional audit. Here's how. Every few hours, pause and ask yourself, what emotion am I feeling right now? What might have triggered it? How is my body reacting? Tense shoulders, racing heart, etc. What do I want to do about this emotion? Would be a thoughtful response instead. Keep a journal or use a notes app on your phone. Just 1 or 2 sentences per check-in is enough. This practice builds the bridge between your emotional and rational brain. It helps you start noticing patterns, and it gives you the space to choose how you respond, instead of letting emotions control the show. Final thoughts for this chapter. You don't have to be a neuroscientist to understand emotional intelligence, but understanding the science behind it empowers you to take charge of your inner world. When you learn how your brain processes emotions, when you start seeing emotions as signals, not enemies, And when you realize that empathy and connection are wired into your biology, you step into a whole new level of personal power. Emotional intelligence is not just a nice to have. It's the foundation for everything meaningful, from confidence to communication to connection. And now that you understand how it works behind the scenes, you're ready for the next. People are emotionally reactive. They're like leaves in the wind, tossed around by every feeling without understanding where those feelings come from. Why? Because nobody ever taught us to slow down and ask deeper questions. We were told, don't cry, stop being angry, just get over it. But here's what emotionally intelligent people do differently. They ask themselves, what is this emotion trying to tell me? That one question can change your entire life. The power of naming emotions. One of the most powerful tools in emotional intelligence is labeling your emotions. It may sound basic, but studies show that just naming what you're feeling reduces the intensity of that emotion. This is called effect labeling, and it's backed by neuroscience. Instead of saying, I feel bad, try, I feel disappointed. Instead of I'm just stressed, say, I feel overwhelmed because I'm afraid I won't meet this deadline. Instead of I'm mad, I feel frustrated because my boundaries were ignored. The more specific your emotional vocabulary, the more clarity you gain, and with clarity comes control. Emotional triggers. Know them or be controlled by them. Everyone has emotional triggers. Things that instantly set off strong reactions. It could be being ignored, feeling disrespected, being interrupted, feeling judged or misunderstood, being compared to someone else. These aren't random. They usually tie back to past experiences, core beliefs, or unmet emotional needs. Self-awareness means identifying your personal triggers so you're not blindsided by them. Next time you feel an intense emotional reaction, ask, what just happened? What did it make me believe about myself? Where have I felt this before? This gives you the chance to break free from autopilot reactions and choose a different response. Body signals. Your emotions talk through your body. Your body often knows how you feel before your mind catches up. Tight shoulders, shallow breathing, a racing heart, clenched fists. These are signs your body is processing something. When you learn to tune into your physical sensations, you get access to your emotions early before they boil over. Try this quick body scan. Close your eyes and take a slow breath. Ask, where do I feel tension right now? Name the sensation. I feel pressure in my chest or my stomach feels tight. Ask what emotion might be causing this. This practice helps you connect with your emotions before they overwhelm you. Journaling. Self-awareness. One of the best ways to build emotional self-awareness is through daily journaling. No, it doesn't have to be pages and pages. Just a few minutes a day can shift your mindset and mood. Try this journal prompt. What emotion did I feel most strongly today? What triggered it? How did I respond? What would I do differently next time? Over time, journaling reveals patterns, emotional loops, recurring triggers, and how your responses evolve. It's like having a mirror for your inner world. The stories we tell ourselves. Your emotions are not just about what happens to you, but how you interpret what happens. For example, someone cancels on you. You feel rejected. The story, they don't care about me. You make a mistake at work. You feel anxious. The story, I'm not good enough. Emotionally intelligent people challenge those stories. They ask, is this story true? Is there another way to see this? Am I taking this personally when it might not be about me? This mental shift from without overwhelm. The power of pause in emotionally charged situations. The difference between regret and wisdom is one thing. The pause, before sending that angry message, before saying something you'll regret, before reacting, just pause. Take one breath. Give your brain a second to catch up. Ask yourself, what emotion am I feeling right now? And what would my highest self do next? That one pause can save relationships, careers, and your own peace of mind. Final thoughts for this chapter. Self-awareness isn't about perfection. It's about attention. It's about tuning in instead of tuning out. It's about listening to your emotional signals and decoding what they're trying to say. It's about being honest with yourself, not judgmental, just honest. The more you practice self-awareness, the more empowered you become. You stop being a prisoner of your emotions and start becoming the master of them. You'll feel more in control, more grounded, more confident, and most importantly, you'll start building the emotional intelligence that transforms every part of your life. Chapter 3. Managing emotions in difficult situations. Life happens. Emotions happen. What? Now here's the truth. Everyone gets emotional. Even the calmest, most grounded person you know has bad days, feels triggered, or gets overwhelmed. The difference between those who fall apart and those who stay in control isn't whether or not they feel emotions. It's how they handle those emotions. This chapter is about just that. Managing your emotions when life gets messy. Because let's be real, it's easy to be emotionally intelligent when everything's going well. The real test is when someone cuts you off in traffic, your partner says something hurtful, or you get that sinking feeling of anxiety before a big moment. That's when emotional mastery counts most. Emotions are energy. Let's start with a powerful perspective. Emotions are energy in motion. They move through your body. They rise and fall like waves. They are meant to be felt, acknowledged, and released. But here's what most people do. They suppress emotions, or they explode with emotions, or they try to escape emotions through food, social media scrolling, or distractions. Managing emotions isn't about ignoring or controlling them like a robot. It's about feeling them fully, but not letting them control your actions. You can feel anger without yelling. You can feel sadness without shutting down. You can feel anxiety and still show up and do the thing anyway. The emotional thermostat versus thermometer. Here's a mental model to help you. Imagine a thermometer. It just reacts to whatever's happening in the environment. If it's hot, it goes up. If it's cold, it drops. No control, just reaction. Now imagine a thermostat. It senses the temperature, but then sets the tone. It regulates the environment. It takes responsibility for the atmosphere. Most people are emotional thermometers. They reflect the energy around them, but emotionally intelligent people are thermostats. They feel what's happening and then choose how they want to respond. Which one are you becoming? Step 1. Name the emotion. This is always the first step. Why? Because you can't manage what you don't name. Let's say you're in a meeting and someone cuts you off mid-sentence. Your chest tightens, your jaw clenches, you feel a rush of heat. What do? You pause and mentally name it. I'm feeling disrespected. I'm feeling frustrated. This small moment creates space between you and the emotion, and in that space, you get your power back. Step 2. Breathe to reset. This may sound cliché, but it works. Your breath is your remote control for your nervous system. When emotions spike, your body goes into fight or flight. Heart races, muscles tense, vision narrows, but deep, intentional breathing tells your brain, we're okay, you're safe. Try this simple breathing pattern. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. Exhale for 4 seconds. Repeat 3 to 5 times. This calms the amygdala, your emotional alarm system, and reactivates the rational brain. It's not magic, it's biology. Step 3. Ask better questions. Your brain is always answering questions, even when you're not aware of them. Low EQ people ask, why does this always happen to me? What's wrong with me? Why are people so difficult? High EQ people ask, what am I feeling and what triggered it? What's really going on here beneath the surface? How can I respond in a way I'll be proud of? Later, when you ask better questions, you get better answers and better actions. Step 4. Choose a response, not a reaction. This is the moment that defines emotional maturity. A reaction is automatic. It's your survival brain lashing out or shutting down. A response is thoughtful. It comes from clarity and strength. Let's go back to the meeting example. You were cut off. You're frustrated. You've taken a breath and asked yourself, what's really going on? Now you get to respond. That might look like staying calm and bringing your point back up with confidence, addressing the interruption later in private, letting it go if it wasn't worth the energy. The key is you chose, not your ego, not your emotion, you, the 90-second rule. Did you know that most emotional reactions last only 90 seconds unless you feed them? That's right. According to neuroscientist Dr. Jill Bolt Taylor, when an emotion is triggered, there's a 90-second chemical process in the body. After that, it's to us to keep replaying the story or to let it pass. So, next time you feel anger, sadness, or anxiety rising, remind yourself, this will pass. I just need to ride the wave. Take the 90 seconds. Breathe. Stay still. Don't react yet. That's emotional self-control in action. Reframing. Change the meaning. Change the emotion. Emotion often comes from interpretation, not just the event itself. Let's say someone doesn't respond to your message. You could interpret that as they're ignoring me. Emotion hurt. They don't care about me. Emotion anger. Maybe they're busy. Emotion understanding. Same event, different meaning, totally different emotional experience. Emotionally intelligent people are masters of reframing. They challenge their assumptions. They look for alternative explanations. They stay curious instead of jumping to conclusions. How to handle emotional overload. Sometimes the emotion is just too much. You feel overwhelmed. You want to cry, or scream, or shut down. Okay. Here's a quick emotional reset routine. Remove yourself from the environment if you can. Move your body. Go for a walk. Stretch. Do push-ups. Shake it out. Express the emotion. Write it out. Talk to someone or cry if needed. Refocus your mind. Listen to calming music. Read something inspiring, or visualize a peaceful place. The goal isn't to fix the feeling. It's to ground yourself so you can get back to clarity. Real-life scenarios. Let's apply this to a few situations. You're stuck in traffic, running late. Old you freaks out, curses, feels helpless. New you notices the stress, breathes, accepts what's out of your control, uses the time to listen to a podcast or reflect. Your friend cancels plans last minute. Old you feels rejected, assumes they don't care. New you feels disappointed, but asks for clarification, chooses to respond with kindness or set a boundary if needed. You make a mistake at work. Old you panics, feels like a failure. New you acknowledges the mistake, feels the sting, but remind yourself that mistakes are part of growth and takes action to fix it. This is how emotional strength is built moment by moment. Final thoughts for this chapter. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present. Managing your emotions isn't about suppressing them, it's about owning them. When you learn to ride the wave of emotion without being swept away, you become unshakable. You stay calm in chaos. You think clearly under pressure. You respond from wisdom, not impulse. That's what emotional intelligence is all about. And the best part, every challenge becomes a training ground. Every tough moment becomes an opportunity to strengthen your emotional muscle. Chapter 4. Building empathy for stronger relationships. Why empathy changes everything. Let's be honest, everyone wants to feel seen, heard, and understood. Whether it's your partner, a friend, a coworker, or even a stranger on the street, the deepest human craving is connection. And the secret ingredient, empathy. Empathy is more than just being nice. It's the ability to step into someone else's emotional shoes, to feel what they're feeling, without losing yourself in the process. In a world full of distractions, misunderstandings, and surface-level interactions, empathy is what turns relationships from transactional to transformational. The two types of empathy to master empathy. It's important to understand its two main forms: emotional empathy, feeling with someone. When your friend is grieving and you feel that lump in your throat, that's emotional empathy. It's immediate. It's visceral. It's like your heart is tuned to theirs. Cognitive empathy, understanding someone's perspective. You might not feel their emotion, but you get it. You see where they're coming from, even if you disagree. This is especially useful in conflict or professional settings. The best communicators, they blend both. They feel with you, and they understand you. Sympathy versus empathy. There's a big difference. Let's clear this up, once and for all. Sympathy is when you say, "I feel bad for you." Empathy says, "I feel this with you." Sympathy stands at a distance. It's pity. Empathy moves closer. It's connection. Imagine a friend has just lost a job. Sympathy says, "Oh, that sucks. Hope it works out." Empathy says, "That must be really hard. I know how scary that uncertainty can feel. I'm here with you." See the difference? One creates distance, the other builds trust. The three-step empathy formula. If you want a simple way to practice empathy in real conversations, here it is. Listen to understand, not respond. This means you're not thinking about your reply. You're not judging. You're not interrupting. You're fully present. Eye contact, nods, silence when needed. Name what you notice. That sounds frustrating. You seem really overwhelmed. I hear a lot of sadness in what you're saying. Validate the emotion. It makes sense you'd feel that way. Anyone in your shoes would be feeling that too. You're not crazy for feeling this. It's human. Validation doesn't mean agreement. It means acknowledgement. And acknowledgement is healing. Common blocks to empathy. Let's be real. Sometimes empathy is hard. Here are a few things that get in the way. Judgment. Why are they overreacting? Comparison. That's nothing compared to what I've been through. Advice giving. Here's what you should do before they even finish talking. Distraction. Checking your phone mid-conversation. Emotional overload. Feeling too much and shutting down. Awareness is the first step. Once you know your empathy blockers, you can catch them in the moment and choose a better way. Empathy starts with self-awareness. Remember chapters 2 and 3. They weren't just about you. They were training grounds for empathy, because when you understand and manage your own emotions, you're much better equipped to hold space for someone else's. Emotionally unaware people struggle with empathy. Why? Because they can't tell where their feelings end. The other person's begin, or they get uncomfortable and want to fix it too fast. Empathy isn't about fixing, it's about feeling with and sitting beside. Empathy and action, real-life examples. Let's walk through a few everyday moments and how empathy can shift everything. Example, first your partner comes home, stressed, and snaps at you. Old reaction, "Why are you taking this out on me?" Empathic response, "You seem really stressed. Want to talk about it? Or just need space?" Example 2. A friend cancels last minute for the third time. Old reaction, "Wow, you're so flaky." Empathic response, "Hey, I'm feeling a little let down. Is everything okay on your end?" Example 3. A coworker messes up a project and blames others. Old reaction, "What a coward." Empathic response, "It looks like you're feeling pressured. Want to brainstorm how to fix this together? Notice what changed." Empathy softens conflict. It opens doors, it builds bridges, mirror neurons and the brain science of empathy. Here's where it gets cool. Your
brain is wired for empathy.
inside your brain are special cells called mirror neurons. When you see someone smile or cry or wuss in pain, your brain literally mirrors that emotion. This is why you tear up during emotional movie scenes. You cringe when someone gets hurt. You feel warm when someone hugs you. Empathy isn't just emotional, it's biological. But like any muscle, it strengthens with use. Building empathy in relationships. Here's how to cultivate empathy with the people who matter most. Ask better questions. What's been on your mind lately? How are you really feeling about that? What do you need from me right now? Practice active listening. Reflect what you hear. So, what I'm hearing is ask clarifying questions. Avoid interrupting or jumping to conclusions. Stay curious, not critical. Instead of you're being too sensitive, try help me understand what made you feel that way. Remember, everyone has a backstory. That rude person at the store, maybe they just lost someone. That angry coworker, maybe they feel invisible. That cold friend, maybe they're battling depression. Empathy lets you see the human behind the behavior. When empathy feels draining, yes, empathy can be exhausting if you don't have boundaries. You're not meant to carry everyone's pain. You're meant to connect with it, not absorb it. If you find yourself overwhelmed, set limits. It's okay to say, I want to support you, but I need a short break to recharge. Detach with love. You care deeply and still protect your peace. Refill your own emotional tank through rest, nature, movement, or silence. Empathy is a gift, but it starts with giving some to yourself first. Final thoughts for this chapter. Empathy is the skill that makes you unforgettable. It turns average listeners into trusted friends. It turns surface relationships into deep bonds, and it turns good leaders into great ones. When you practice empathy, you're telling people you matter, your pain is valid, you're not alone. That one simple message, it can heal relationships, it can change lives, and sometimes it can even save them. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be present. Chapter 5. Social Skills. Hound on 1. Understanding social cues. Why social skills matter more than ever. Here's the deal. You could be brilliant. You could have the best ideas. But if you can't connect with people, read a room, sense the vibe, respond appropriately, your growth will stall in personal life, in professional life, everywhere. Social skills are emotional intelligence in action. They're the tools that help you build trust, navigate relationships, and avoid awkward missteps. And it all starts with understanding one thing. Most communication is nonverbal. That's right, what you say is only a small part of the message. How you say it and how you read what others aren't saying is what really counts. This chapter will show you how to read social cues like a pro so you can show up with confidence, connection, and clarity in any situation. What are social cues? Social cues are the silent signals we send through body language, facial expressions, tone of voice, posture, timing, and more. They help us answer questions like, is this person comfortable or uncomfortable? Are they open to talking or not? Did my comment land well, or do I need to shift the tone? Are we connecting or is something off? Mastering social cues is like learning to speak a second language, a language without words, the big 5 social cues to watch for. Let's break down the main categories of social signals. Facial expressions. The face is a mirror of emotion. Even micro-expressions, those split-second flashes of emotion, reveal the truth. Raised eyebrows, surprise or skepticism, smiling with eyes, genuine warmth, tight lips or clenched jaw, tension or stress. Furrowed brow, confusion or concern. Pro tip, watch the eyes. They often tell the story more than the mouth does. Body language. The way someone holds themselves says a lot. Open posture, confidence. Receptivity. Closed arms, a defensiveness or discomfort. Leaning in. Interest. Turning away or stepping back. Disinterest or desire to escape. Notice posture shifts. They often signal changing emotional states. Tone. A voice. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it. A soft tone can signal calm or submission. A sharp tone can feel like a threat. Fast talking might indicate anxiety. A warm, even tone builds trust. Tip: listen to tone changes mid-conversation. That's where hidden emotions often surface. Timing and turn-taking. Social rhythm matters. Is the person interrupting or waiting their turn? Are they speaking too long without noticing others? Are they giving others a chance to respond? People with strong social skills know when to speak, when to pause, and when to let silence do the work. Personal space. Everyone has an invisible bubble, and invading it sends strong signals. Too close, threatening, or overly intense. Too far, evoke disinterest or coldness. Just right, comfort and mutual respect. Cultural norms vary, so be observant and adjust accordingly. How to read the room. Here's a quick method to instantly assess a social environment. The vibe scan. Visuals. What are people's body language and facial expressions saying? Intensity. Is the energy calm, tense, upbeat, or awkward? Behavior. Are people engaged, distracted, comfortable? Energy. Is the group dynamic positive or negative? You don't have to get it perfect, just pay attention. Social awareness isn't about being psychic, it's about being present. Social intelligence, pattern recognition. Ever wonder how some people just get the mood of a room? They've trained themselves to recognize patterns. What happens when someone brings up a certain topic? How does the group respond when someone jokes? Who dominates the conversation? Who holds back? They're watching, listening, adjusting. This isn't manipulation, it's mindfulness. It's about honoring the emotional and social flow of the group. Common social missteps and how to avoid them. Even smart, well-meaning people sometimes miss social cues. Here are a few examples. Talking too much about yourself. Fix. Ask more questions. Balance the airtime. Missing signs of boredom or discomfort. Fix. Watch for fidgeting. Looking away. Short answers. Being too intense too fast. Fix. Let connection build. Don't trauma dump or overshare immediately. Ignoring group dynamics. Fix. Read the room before making bold moves. Not adapting your tone or energy. Fix. Mirror the other person's vibe. Then lead with your best self. Remember, social skills are not about being perfect. They're about being aware and adaptable. How to improve your social awareness. Ready to level up your social reading skills? Try these strategies. Play emotion detective. In conversations, silently guess what the other person is feeling. Then check your accuracy by asking questions like, "You seem unsure. Am I picking that up right?" Watch people in house. Public. Observe body language and interaction. At cafes, parks, or events. What patterns do you see? What energy is being exchanged? Record yourself. Practice conversations on video. Watch your facial expressions, posture, and tone. You'll learn a lot about how others perceive you. Mirror subtly. Subtle mirroring builds rapport. If someone is calm and reserved, match that energy. If they're warm and enthusiastic, reflect it back. Just don't overdo it. It has to feel natural. Ask for feedback from trusted friends or mentors. Ask, "How do I come across?" Conversations. Be open. This is gold, from awkward to awesome. Social skill growth stories. Let's bring this home with a few transformation examples. Jade used to interrupt people constantly. She didn't mean to. She was just excited. After learning about turn-taking and observing group dynamics, she slowed down, became a better listener, and now people seek her out for conversations. Mike often made jokes at the wrong time and never understood why people pulled away. After learning to read facial expressions and energy shifts, he became more tactful and his relationships deepened. Sarah felt invisible in groups. After watching body language, asking questions, and using eye contact, she found herself being included more and feeling seen. You can grow too. It just takes practice, observation, and intention. Final thoughts for this chapter. Social cues are the signals that guide every interaction. When you learn to read them, you unlock the unspoken code of connection. You start sensing when to speak up and when to listen, when to push and when to pause, when someone needs space and when they need support. And most importantly, you become the kind of person others feel safe around, seen around, connected to. That's the heart of emotional intelligence in action. Chapter 6. How to improve communication in every situation. Communication is everything. Think about this. Every relationship you have, personal, professional, or even with yourself, depends on one thing: communication. When it's clear, respectful, emotionally intelligent, things flow. When it's confusing, reactive, or unclear, conflict, distance, and frustration show up. Here's the truth. Communication is not just about talking, it's about connecting. This chapter will show you how to become the kind of communicator who doesn't just get heard, but actually understood. Someone who brings calm, clarity, and connection into every conversation. What makes communication truly effective? Effective communication has three major components. Clarity, saying what you mean without confusion or fluff. Tone, your emotional energy matches your message. Timing, you're delivering your words in the right moment, not just dumping them on people. If you can align all three, you become magnetic. People want to talk to you because it feels easy and safe. The 4 pillars of great communication. Let's dive into 4 essential pillars that will improve the way you communicate in any situation. Listening first, talking second. This is where most people go wrong. They're focused on their response, not the other person's message. Active listening means giving your full attention. Yes, that means putting down your phone, nodding, or giving verbal cues like "I see, go on," or "that makes sense," reflecting back what you heard. So what you're saying is, and here's a powerful truth: people don't open up when they feel heard. They open up when they feel understood. Choosing your words wisely. Words are powerful. They can calm a storm or start one, build trust or break it. Open hearts, shut them down. Here's how to use words that connect. Use I statements instead of blame. I felt left out instead of "you ignored me." Avoid absolutes. Words like always and never create defensiveness. You always forget versus "I noticed you forgot this time." Be direct and kind. Truth without empathy feels harsh. Empathy without truth feels vague. You need both. Mastering tone and body language. Remember, how you say it often matters more than what you say. Your words might say, "I'm fine," but your tone, arms and distant eyes, say, "I'm definitely not fine." Align your non-verbal communication with your message. Keep your tone warm and steady. Maintain appropriate eye contact. Open your posture. No folded arms. Nod to show understanding and attentiveness. People don't just listen with their ears, they listen with their emotions, knowing when to speak and when not to. Some conversations need courage, others need quiet. Ask yourself, is this the right moment for this message? Is the other person emotionally available to hear it? Am I speaking to be helpful or just to be heard? Sometimes the most powerful communication is silence, with presence. Communication styles. Which one are you? There are 4 basic communication styles. Understanding yours and others can change everything. Passive avoids conflict, struggles to express needs, often says yes when they mean no. Hidden belief. My needs don't matter. Aggressive dominates conversations, interrupts, criticizes or controls, uses tone to intimidate. Hidden belief. Only my needs matter. Passive-aggressive appears agreeable, but expresses anger indirectly. Sarcasm, backhanded comments, silent treatment. Hidden belief, I won't say it, but I'll make you feel it. 4. Assertive, honest, direct, and respectful. Speaks clearly about needs and boundaries, listens with empathy. Healthy belief. My needs matter. And so do yours, your goal. Move toward assertive communication. That's where connection and confidence live. How to handle difficult conversations. Let's face it, conversations are hard, but with the right tools, they don't have to become hurtful. Here's a proven formula you can use. The CARE framework. C. Calm down first. Never communicate in the heat of emotional chaos. A. Acknowledge the emotion. I know this is uncomfortable, and I really want to talk it through. Respect their perspective. I see how this impacted you even if I experienced it differently. E. Express your truth clearly. Here's what I felt and what I'd love going forward. This method helps people feel safe even when the topic is hard. Communication traps to avoid. Let's go over a few common mistakes that sabotage good communication. Interrupting it sends the message, what I have to say is more important than what you're saying. Fixing too soon. Sometimes people don't want solutions, they want to feel heard first. Assuming instead of asking, ask for clarification before drawing conclusions, using sarcasm or jokes to deflect. Humor is great, but not when it hides real emotions. Avoiding conversations. What you avoid grows. What you face heals. Quick tips for better everyday communication. Here's a toolbox of micro habits that make a major impact. Use names. People feel more connected when you use their name. Pause before replying. A second of silence can save a misunderstanding. Watch for non-verbal shifts. Notice when people suddenly pull back or disengage. Say, tell me more. It invites people to open up. End with appreciation. Thanks for sharing that. Or, I'm glad we talked. Goes a long way. Communication in different contexts. Let's break it down even further. In friendships, be vulnerable. Not just entertaining. Check in regularly. Not just when you need something. Apologize when needed. Mean it. In work settings, be concise. Time is valuable. Focus on solutions. Not just complaints. Use we instead of you to create a team mentality. In romantic relationships, name your needs clearly. Avoid scorekeeping. Express appreciation often. Not just criticism. In family dynamics, be patient with different communication styles. Don't force heavy talks during high emotion. Create rituals where safe, open conversation is encouraged. Final thoughts for this chapter. Communication is not about winning. It's not about talking more or louder or smarter. It's about creating understanding and trust. It's about learning to speak with people, not at them. And here's the beautiful part. The better you get at communication, the less often you'll need to have hard conversations, because the daily flow of clear, kind communication builds stronger, healthier relationships from the start. You're not just learning to speak, you're learning to connect, heal, and lead with your words, and that changes everything. Chapter 7. Building confidence in social interactions. Confidence isn't a personality trait, it's a skill. Let's bust a myth right away. Confidence is not something you're born with. It's something you build. One conversation, one step, one win at a time. Even the most socially skilled people you see on YouTube at events, in leadership roles weren't naturals. They learned to be comfortable around others. This chapter is your blueprint to build that same kind of unshakable social confidence. We're going to explore where social fear comes from, how to overcome it, and exactly what to do when you're in a room full of people and your inner voice starts whispering, "You don't belong here." Because you do. And by the end of this chapter, you'll know why and how to show up with confidence. What is social confidence? Really, social confidence means you trust yourself to handle social situations. You're not obsessed with how you're being judged. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present. You speak with clarity, listen with curiosity, and walk away feeling proud of how you showed up. It's not about being loud. It's not about being funny. It's about being real and feeling safe in your own skin. Why we feel insecure in social settings. Let's get real. Most people have felt at least one of these. What if I say something stupid? They probably think I'm awkward. I'm not interesting enough to be here. I don't belong. Sound familiar? These are social fears, mental traps that create anxiety before and during interactions, and most of them come from early experiences where you felt judged, rejected, or left out. The brain remembers those moments. It says, let's avoid that pain again. So it triggers nervousness, overthinking, withdrawal. But you don't need to obey that fear anymore. Step 1. Shift the spotlight. Here's a powerful mindset shift. Stop focusing on how you're being perceived. Start focusing on how you're making others feel. Social anxiety is self-focused. Social confidence is others-focused. Instead of am I being awkward, try how can I help this person feel seen and comfortable. This instantly shifts your energy and lowers your anxiety. Step 2. Own the awkward moments. Every confident person you admire said something weird, made a joke that flopped, or walked into a room feeling out of place. Confidence doesn't mean avoiding awkwardness. It means not being afraid of it. Try this. Laugh it off. Well, that came out wrong. Own it. I totally blanked on your name. My bad. Redirect with curiosity. Anyway, what were you saying about when you show you're okay with your own imperfections, others feel relaxed too? Step 3. Use body language to signal confidence. Your body leads, your brain follows. Here are a few body hacks. Stand tall. Roll your shoulders back. Lift your chest slightly. It signals openness. Uncross your arms. Open body, open energy. Smile softly. It invites people in. Eye contact, not a stare, just enough to show presence. Stillness. Fidgeting shows nervousness. Calm hands, calm mind. Even if you feel nervous inside, your body can signal safety to your brain and to the people around you. Step 4. Build social confidence in safe zones. Don't jump straight into high-pressure networking events. Build your confidence gradually. Talk to baristas, cashiers, or neighbors. Ask someone at work how their weekend was. Compliment a stranger's outfit. These small social reps build comfort and confidence. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Step 5. Master your inner dialogue. The most important conversation is the one you're having with yourself. Here is how to upgrade your inner voice. Catch the critic. I'm so awkward. I'm still learning. And that's okay. Affirm your growth. This feels hard now, but I'm getting better every time. Visualize success. Picture yourself walking into a room with calm confidence. Rewire the narrative. Your brain is always listening. Step 6. Prepare without over-planning. Confidence loves preparation, but over-preparation backfires. Instead of scripting every line of what you'll say, focus on intent. I want to be curious about others. I want to share something meaningful. I want to be fully present. Also, have a few go-to conversation openers.
Ready.
What brings you here today? How do you know mutual friend? What's been the highlight of your week so far? Simple, open-ended, human. Step 7. Learn to handle rejection. Sometimes you'll try to connect and it won't land. That's life. Here's what to remember. It's not always about you. Everyone has off days or other things on their mind. Confidence means resilience, not perfection. Each awkward moment is a rep. Each ignored message is one step closer to someone who will respond. Your worth isn't tied to others' reactions. Step 8. Surround yourself with confidence builders who you spend time with affects how you feel. Find people who encourage your growth. Accept your quirks. Celebrate your courage to show up. And when possible, limit exposure to chronic critics, negative energy, people who only take in conversations. Confidence grows in healthy soil. Confidence is built through action. You don't need to feel confident to act confident. In fact, most confident people act before they feel ready. The feeling catches up with the action. That's the key. Speak up in the meeting. Say hello to the new person. Share your idea. Tell your story. Start where you are. Use what you have. Grow one moment at a time. Quick confidence boosters for when you're nervous. Here's a toolbox of quick strategies. Power pose for 2 minutes. Stand like a superhero before an event. Box breathing. 4 seconds. Inhale. 4 hold. 4. Exhale. 4 hold. Repeat. Mantra. I don't have to be perfect. I just have to be present. Posture check. Tall spine, calm mind, micro goal. I'll talk to just one new person today. Confidence is built in motion, not waiting. Real stories, real growth. Let's hear from a few everyday people who built confidence. Lena was shy at work and felt invisible. She started speaking up in small team meetings with just one sentence. Within months, she was leading discussions. She didn't wait to feel ready. She just started. Darius always froze in networking events. He gave himself one goal: ask 2 people about their career paths. He repeated it at every event. Eventually, he was introducing people to each other and hosting mixers. Priya had social anxiety for years. She started volunteering at a community center where she didn't know anyone. The weekly exposure and kindness of strangers reshaped her self-image. Confidence grows when you choose courage over comfort, even in small doses. Final thoughts for this chapter. Confidence isn't about never feeling nervous. It's about showing up anyway. It's not about dominating a room. It's about owning your presence calmly, clearly, authentically. And it's not something others give you. It's something you build from within through awareness, action, and self-trust. So go ahead. Step into the room, say the first word, smile even when your heart is racing. Be bold, be kind, be human, because the most magnetic person in the room isn't the loudest. It's the one who makes others feel safe, seen, and uplifted simply by being grounded in who they are. And person can be you. Chapter 8. Emotional intelligence in the workplace. Why emotional intelligence matters at work. Let's be honest, most people don't leave jobs. They leave toxic environments, poor managers, and daily stress that could have been avoided with a little emotional intelligence. Workplaces aren't just about skill and performance. They're human ecosystems. Deadlines, meetings, personalities, pressure. It's emotional terrain. That's where emotional intelligence becomes a game changer. Affects how you handle feedback, how you navigate conflict, how you build trust, and how others perceive your leadership potential. In this chapter, you'll learn how to use emotional intelligence to not just survive the workplace, but thrive in it. The 5 pillars of emotional intelligence at work. Let's break it down into 5 core areas: self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, social skills. Each one plays a specific role in your professional life. Let's explore each with examples. Self-awareness. Know your triggers. Imagine you're in a team meeting. Someone shoots down your idea. You feel heat rise in your chest. Maybe a little anger. Maybe embarrassment. Without self-awareness, you might lash out or shut down. With self-awareness, You recognize this feedback stings a little. But maybe it's not personal. Let me stay curious. Self-awareness means noticing your emotional reactions without letting them hijack your behavior. Try this at work. Pause before replying to emotional emails. Journal a few lines after stressful meetings. Identify your top 3 workplace triggers and reflect on why they affect you. Awareness is the first step to control self-regulation. Stay cool under pressure. Let's face it, work can be frustrating. Missed deadlines, poor communication, office politics, self-regulation doesn't mean bottling up your emotions. It means responding instead of reacting. People with high self-regulation stay calm when others panic. Think before they speak. Handle setbacks without blaming. Don't gossip or escalate negativity. Try this practice. Name it to tame it. I'm feeling frustrated. Let me pause. Use deep breathing before emotionally loaded conversations. Take a short walk or break instead of reacting in the heat of the moment. Calm is a superpower in chaotic environments. Motivation. Go beyond the paycheck highly emotionally. Intelligent people are self-motivated. They're not just working for promotions. They find purpose in the process. They ask, how can I improve today? What impact does my work create? How do I grow from this challenge? They also bounce back from failure faster. They see setbacks as feedback, not defeat. Try this. Set personal growth goals, not just performance ones. Focus on your progress, not just perfection. Find one thing each week that excites you about your role. Work becomes more fulfilling when you connect it to something deeper than deadlines. Empathy. Understand before you judge. In the workplace, empathy means understanding your co-workers' stress, respecting different communication styles, listening to frustrations without jumping to conclusions. It doesn't mean agreeing with everything. It means seeking to understand first. Try this. In a tense conversation, ask what's behind this person's behavior. When giving feedback, consider their perspective. When someone seems off, ask, hey, everything all right? Empathy builds trust, and trust builds great teams. Social skills. Collaborate like a pro. Emotional intelligence in how you connect with others. Great social skills at work include active listening, clear, respectful communication, conflict resolution, team building, being approachable and open. Try this. Give people credit publicly. Ask teammates how they prefer to communicate. Be direct but kind when addressing issues. Use names and eye contact. It builds rapport fast. The best professionals aren't just good at tasks, they're good with people. Applying EQ in common workplace scenarios. Let's put theory in practice. Here are everyday situations and how to use emotional intelligence to navigate them. Scenario 1. Receiving criticism without EQ. You feel attacked, get defensive, and shut down. With EQ, you breathe, listen, and ask for specifics. You say, thanks for the feedback. What would success look like in your eyes? Scenario 2. Team conflict without EQ. You take sides or avoid it altogether. With EQ, you mediate calmly, validate both sides, and look for common ground. Say, let's make sure everyone feels heard before we decide how to move forward. Scenario 3. Office gossip. Without EQ, you join in and fuel the fire. With EQ, you steer the conversation towards solutions, or excuse yourself politely. Say, I don't know the full story, so I'd rather not assume. Scenario 4. Managing up without Q. You dump problems on your manager and complain. With EQ, you come with solutions, show awareness of their pressures, and communicate with clarity. Say, here's the issue, here are 2 possible solutions. What do you think? Leading with emotional intelligence. If you're in a leadership role or aspire to be, EQ is your edge. Emotionally intelligent leaders inspire rather than intimidate. Communicate vision clearly. Listen to concerns without ego. Recognize effort and motivate teams. Stay calm in high-stakes moments. People don't just follow titles. They follow trust, presence, and empathy. Ask yourself, do people feel safe giving me feedback? Do I respond with patience, pressure? Do I know what motivates my team personally? Leading with EQ turns managers into mentors. The ROI of emotional intelligence. Let's talk results. Studies show that people with high EQ earn more over their careers, have stronger networks, experience less burnout, get promoted faster, are rated higher by their peers and teams. Why? Because they make things smoother for everyone. They lower drama, they boost morale, they make work feel human again. Practice your EQ workplace challenge. Try this for the next 7 days. Check in with yourself each morning. Ask, how am I feeling, and how might that affect how I show up today? Do one emotional check-in with a colleague. Ask, how's your week going? Anything you're juggling that I can help with? Handle one frustrating moment with calm. Pause, breathe, reflect, then respond, not react. Give one piece of sincere praise. A short, specific compliment goes a long way. Ask one open-ended question in your next meeting. It encourages dialogue and shows leadership. You'll notice the more EQ you use, the more influence you earn. Final thoughts for this chapter. Emotional intelligence in the workplace isn't just about being nice. It's about being smart with emotions, yours and others. It's about creating environments where people feel safe, seen, and supported. And when you show up with emotional intelligence, you don't just grow as a professional. You uplift everyone around you. Because people who go far in their careers aren't just the smartest or most skilled. They're the ones others trust, respect, and want to work with again and again. Chapter 9. Advanced Social Strategies for Success. Leveling up from social skills to social mastery. You've learned the basics: empathy, communication, emotional regulation. Now it's time to go deeper. This chapter is for those who want more than just being good with people. This is for those who want to influence, inspire, and lead in every room they walk into. Advanced social strategies aren't manipulative. They're about becoming the kind of person who creates meaningful impact by connecting, understanding, and elevating others. You'll learn the art of persuasion, how to read a room, charisma triggers strategic vulnerability, how to handle power dynamics with grace that is unlock next-level human connection, the art of subtle persuasion. Persuasion isn't about pressure, it's about alignment. Influential people don't force decisions. They guide them. They understand psychology, timing, and emotional tone. Here are 3 powerful persuasion tools. A mirror and match. Subtly mirror the body language, tone, and pace of the person you're speaking to. It signals "I'm like you," which builds trust fast. People trust what feels familiar, but don't overdo it. Keep it natural, like a dance, not a copy. B. Lead with shared goals. Instead of saying, "Here's what I want," say, "Here's how we can both win." People resist when they feel pushed, but move forward when they feel aligned. Use story, not just logic. Facts tell, stories sell. If you want to persuade, use vivid examples, personal experiences, and emotional anchors. I know how that feels. Last year I was stuck. 2 is more powerful than a list of bullet points. Reading the room, energy, emotion, and dynamics. Social intelligence means knowing not just what to say, but when and how. Reading a room means noticing energy shifts, sensing tension or excitement, adjusting your tone or message on the fly. Train this muscle. Observe before speaking. Scan facial expressions, posture, and silence. Ask yourself, what's not being said here? Example, you walk into a meeting. People are stiff, quiet, and avoid eye contact. Don't jump in with enthusiasm. Start with calm curiosity. Seems like there's a lot on everyone's mind today. What's top of the list? This skill turns you into a trusted communicator in any group setting. Charisma triggers. How to be magnetic. Charisma isn't luck. It's learned blend of three things: presence, full attention, no distractions, no rushing. Power, quiet, confidence, owning your value, warmth, openness, kindness, empathy, high charisma, high presence, plus high warmth, plus high power. Here's how to activate it. Put your phone away when talking to someone. Speak slower and with intention. Smile with your eyes, not just your mouth. Compliment people on qualities, not just looks. You really know how to keep people calm in tough situations. When you combine presence, power, and warmth, you become unforgettable. Strategic vulnerability. The connection accelerator. Want to build fast, real connection. Share before you shine. People connect through struggles, not just success. I used to struggle with that too. I felt nervous the first time I tried that. Here's a mistake I made that taught me a lot. This doesn't mean oversharing or making everything about you. It means letting people see the human behind the skill set. Vulnerability breeds trust, and trust is the foundation. Influence. Social positioning, navigating power with grace. Every social group has unspoken dynamics. Who leads, who influences decisions, who's respected, who's overlooked. Emotionally intelligent people notice this and navigate it with tact. How to move with social intelligence. Compliment the quiet people publicly. Ask the opinion of someone being ignored. Support ideas and give credit openly. Never outshine your leader. Elevate them subtly. Offer ideas that benefit the whole group. Not just you. And most importantly, don't demand respect. Earn it through humility, value, and consistency. The power of listening, next-level connection. Most people listen to reply. Leaders listen to understand. Want to be powerful in any conversation? Try this. Ask open-ended questions. What's been on your mind lately? How did that experience shape you? Don't interrupt. Let silence do its work. Reflect what you heard. It sounds like you're feeling overwhelmed because you care about doing this right. Deep listening is a superpower. It makes people feel seen, and that makes you magnetic. Building strategic relationships. It's not just who you know, it's how you know them. Here's how to build real, lasting, high-value relationships. Be consistently helpful. Send articles, intros, or encouragement without asking for anything. Thought of you when I saw this. Figured it might help. B. Show up during quiet times, not just celebrations. Show up when someone is stuck, uncertain, or in the background. People never forget who showed up for them when no one else did. C. Stay in light touch. You don't need weekly calls. A quarterly check-in, holiday note, or saw this and thought of you goes a long way. Relationships compound over time like interest. Invest early and often. Social adaptability. Becoming a chameleon with integrity. Being socially adaptable doesn't mean faking it. It means knowing how to show up differently for different people and environments. It's the emotional equivalent of knowing when to wear a suit and when to wear sneakers. Adapt to tone of voice, speed of conversation, formality-level humor style, but never compromise your core values. Adapt your style, not your integrity. Think of it like speaking different dialects of the same language. You're still you, just more fluent. Practice your advanced social challenge. This week, try one challenge per day. Mirror someone's tone and body language subtly in a conversation. Scan a room and guess the emotional temperature before speaking. Give a thoughtful compliment using presence plus warmth. Share one authentic, vulnerable story in a conversation. Elevate someone who's usually overlooked in your group. Ask a deep, open-ended question and really listen. Reconnect with someone in your network with a kind message or offer. Then journal your reflections. What changed when you approached people with more awareness, presence, and empathy? Final thoughts for this chapter. Social mastery isn't about being loud, dominant, or always on. It's about making people feel seen, heard, and inspired to be better around you. That's the real mark of influence. And here's the truth. You don't have to be born charismatic. You don't have to be the most outgoing person in the room. You just have to care, learn, and practice. Every interaction is a chance to level up your impact. When you combine emotional intelligence with advanced social strategy, you become unstoppable, not because of manipulation, but because of connection. And that's where real success lives. Chapter 10. Conclusion and key takeaways. You made it. If you're hearing this, you've just completed a journey most people only talk about starting. You didn't just listen to words, you invested in yourself. Let's pause and take a deep breath. Because what you've just done isn't small. You've learned to understand your own emotions. You've gained tools to connect with others at a deeper level. You've stepped into the next version of yourself, one that's wiser, calmer, and more socially empowered. Now let's wrap everything up and make sure you walk away with the most important lessons that you can apply for life, the core truth. Emotional intelligence is a skill, not a trait. If you remember nothing else, remember this. Emotional intelligence is not something you're born with. It's something you build like muscle, like language, like leadership. It grows every time you choose to pause instead of react, listen instead of speak, ask instead of assume, own your feelings instead of blaming others, lead with empathy instead of ego. You're not just learning how to cope with life, you're learning how to master it. Key lessons from each chapter. Let's revisit the main takeaways from every chapter. These are your go-to principles moving forward. Chapter 1. Introduction to Emotional Intelligence and Social Skills. Emotional intelligence is the foundation of personal and professional success. Social skills determine the quality of your relationships. This journey is about growth, not perfection. Mantra, I can learn to understand myself and others. Chapter 2. The science behind emotional intelligence. EQ involves 5 core components: self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. It's measurable, improvable, and supported by neuroscience. High EQ correlates with better mental health, leadership, and life satisfaction. Mantra, emotions are data. I can learn to decode them. Chapter 3. Self-awareness. Recognizing your emotions. You can't change what you don't notice. Journaling, mindfulness, and feedback help you build emotional awareness. Naming emotions disarms them. Mantra, I pause, observe, and understand myself. Chapter 4. Managing emotions in difficult situations. Emotions are signals, not orders. Self-regulation is about space between stimulus and response. Breathing, reframing, and reflection are key tools. Mantra, I respond with wisdom, not impulse. Chapter 5. Building empathy for stronger relationships. Empathy is understanding, not agreement. Active listening creates emotional safety. Empathy strengthens trust and connection. Mantra, I see you, I hear you. You matter. Chapter 6. Social Skills 101. Understanding social cues. Communication is more than words, it's tone, timing, and energy. Non-verbal signals are critical. Social awareness makes you a better teammate, partner, and friend. Mantra, I tune into what others feel, not just what they say. Chapter 7. How to improve communication in every situation. Speak to be heard, not just to talk. Use clarity, warmth, intention. Great communication includes listening, questioning, and timing. Mantra, I connect by being clear, kind, and curious. Chapter 8. Emotional intelligence in the workplace. EQ is your leadership advantage. Handle criticism, conflict, and stress with grace. Build a culture of trust, empathy, and accountability. Mantra, I rise by lifting others. Chapter 9. Advanced Social Strategies for Success. Influence is about alignment, not pressure, charisma, presence plus power plus warmth. Read the room. Speak with purpose and connect authentically. Mantra: I inspire by being real, not perfect. What success really looks like. Success isn't just about achievements, it's about how you feel while you achieve them. It's not about having more friends, it's about having better relationships. It's not about never getting angry. It's about understanding where that anger comes from. It's not about avoiding hard conversations, it's about learning how to have them with care and clarity. Mastering emotional intelligence doesn't mean you'll never struggle again. It means you'll struggle better with more resilience, more awareness, and more wisdom. That's real growth. Your ongoing practice plan. Here's how to keep building EQ and social skills beyond this audiobook. Daily check-ins. Ask, what am I feeling? Why? How can I respond better today? Weekly reflection. Write about a social interaction that challenged or inspired you. Monthly challenge. Pick one EQ skill to focus on each month, like active listening or managing stress. Accountability partner. Find someone to practice communication and self-awareness with. Share wins and lessons. Annual reset. Revisit this audiobook in a year. You'll hear it differently because you'll be different to the future. You imagine yourself 6 months from now, calmer under pressure, more connected in your relationships, a better communicator, someone others admire, trust, and respect, not for your image, but for your presence. That future is built one emotional choice at a time. You've already started the path. Now keep walking it. One final note: your power is in the pause. In the end, emotional intelligence is this: the power to pause, to feel deeply without being ruled by your feelings, to lead with heart without losing your edge, to be human and still grow every day. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present. Thank you for listening to How to Master Emotional Intelligence, Social Skills. If this journey helped you, share it with someone who's ready to grow too. You're not just changing your life, you're changing how you show up for the people around you, and that changes the world.
Take control of your emotions. Build stronger connections. Start your journey today.